The Ukrainian city of Dnipro is under heavy shelling from Putin's troops. Russian rockets have completely destroyed the airport city. My colleague Gaurav Sawant has sent us this exclusive report when he was en route Dnipro.
The administration in Dnipro has asked the elderly, women and children to evacuate as quickly as possible after a series of missile strikes in and around the area. This after fighting intensified in Mariupol. The apprehension is that the Russian forces will now advance towards Dnipro from Mariupol, taking Zaporozhye, a very crucial town in between. The situation is extremely grim, and Ukraine's President Zelensky has also expressed his apprehension that Russian forces could use chemical weapons in this conflict. Especially, the apprehension is this could happen in and around Mariupol, where the Azov forces are fighting on in some pockets. In those pockets of resistance, Ukrainian forces fear that chemical weapons may be used to remove any pockets of resistance. And this is where this battle on day 48 becomes extremely sinister, and the situation becomes extremely grim. With camera person Lalit Mohan Joshi, en route Dnipro in Ukraine, Gaurav Sawant for India Today.
The war in Ukraine has entered its 48th day. The port city of Mariupol has been completely battered in the last 5 weeks of relentless shelling. According to Mariupol mayor, around 5,000 people, including 210 children, since Russian forces laid siege on Mariupol, have been affected, while the Russians have claimed that Mariupol has already fallen under their control. Ukraine has said that they are fighting back the Russians. Ukraine has dubbed it the last battle of Mariupol. In Mariupol, this drama theatre, serving as a shelter for hundreds of civilians, was bombed by Russian troops, reducing it to rubble. The theatre, once home to the nights of revelry and art, is now a ghost shell of itself. Over 300 people have reportedly been killed in bombings in Mariupol. About 140,000 people fled Mariupol on the Sea of Azov before the Russian siege began, and 150,000 have exited since then. Bashtanka, a suburb of Mykolaiv, is under attack. Non-stop shelling from Russian forces have almost reduced the city to dust. My colleague Mausami getting you more details in this next report.
Shelled, shaken, destroyed. Over a month of brutal assault on Ukraine has left many towns in ruins. Bashtanka, a suburb of Mykolaiv, is one of them. Non-stop shelling from Russian forces has almost reduced the city to dust. Mykolaiv itself is not spared. Relentless attacks by Russians have razed the Mykolaiv airport to the ground.
The sound of music greeted the customers as they reached the international airport of Mykolaiv. But now there is only sound of silence and destruction. This is the picture of an airport which was of great strategic importance. Only airport in this area that actually could have had modern facilities, and heavy planes could land in this area. But just take a look. This is the view of the entry point. You enter from that gate. That is the gate, and the gate looks like this. The entire glass is, of course, shattered, and you entered and you would see a modernized airport, but what you see is only destruction here. Some volunteers, their jackets also lying here, and glasses. We are told we cannot go inside because there are some active ammunition still. But Dnipro sir, who's the public relations officer, who's brought us here, getting you these exclusive pictures. Dnipro sir, the Russians have been targeting your airports, and this airport was bombed because they couldn't take control of it.
Yes, they don't have control of this airport, and when he misunderstands, they bombing airport. This is first and last airport international in Mykolaiv, and Mykolaiv region too.
In Bashtanka, residential areas have also been hit hard.
In good old days, this counter would provide heal and cure and medicine to the people who were sick. But you can see that this counter is turned into a rubble. Medicines burnt, destroyed pamphlets. This counter looks like one dilapidated shop. It doesn't even look like a semblance of a shop. And here you can see how people are picking up the pieces. Here, a doctor's coat, some medicines, some pamphlets, and pieces of decoration. This side was a pharmacy, and here what you see was a bakery shop that ran. It was a very famous bakery by the name of Small Bakery. Bekarna is what they call in their language. And this bakery used to serve pastries and muffins to children. It was a favorite joint for the people of Bashtanka, but perhaps they will have to live with this hopelessness for a while, because the Russian troops actually reached Bashtanka village hoping to reclaim Mykolaiv.
Russian shelling, however, hasn't broken Ukrainians' will. Ukrainian troops are fighting back the invaders in Mykolaiv. They've seized more than 115 tanks as well as trucks with heavy ammunition.
This is a symbolic picture of how the Russian forces are facing a stiff, aggressive Ukrainian defense force. This is a Russian truck, Ural, that you see on which we are standing, and how this has been completely destroyed after being bombarded. This truck was actually heading to a Russian base point where it was carrying cruise missiles, a lot of ammunitions, almost 80 ammunitions that it was carrying to target Bashtanka village. And here you can see that these broken parts, these plates, of course this has been sanitized, but 890 is the number that you see. Some signs of the manufacturing of this Russian truck that was carrying cruise missiles, we are told. And here on the tire, you can see that made in Russia, made in February 1995. So February 1995, made in Russian truck that is completely burnt. Right there, the steering wheel and the cabin completely destroyed. Here you can see that nothing is remaining. They had actually, the Ukrainian forces, sanitized this entire area. This is the door that is actually jutting out of this truck. And of course, the attempt by the Russian forces was actually defunct because of the alertness of the Ukrainian forces, who did air raids only after the Russian troops were fleeing. This truck was also fleeing from the location, but before that it met its fate. And here India today, in fact, is the only Indian crew to reach Bashtanka, which is on the outskirts, far away from Mykolaiv. But all the entire region of Mykolaiv is facing a lot of fire, a lot of battle, combat on the periphery, because the Russians are just on the doorstep at Kherson, and they want to take Mykolaiv, which is the last barrier standing, to capture the entire southern part of Ukraine and cut it off from the sea. With video journalist Parminder Sharma, getting you all the ground reports from the war zone in Mykolaiv and Ukraine for India.